Well, it seems every year starts off with a hot new health trend, and this year is no different. There's a new style of fasting, and it involves your brain.
Dopamine fasting is quickly becoming one of the ways to unplug from the things that can cause anxiety, depression, and even heart disease. Reporter Val Lego has a closer look at this new trend.
Let's face it, we're overstimulated and we love it. We can't get enough of those likes, craft beers, or whatever makes us feel good, and we've become dopamine junkies.
Dopamine is going to play a part of motivating us in wanting to do those types of things. Dopamine is a very dynamic neurotransmitter in the brain.
Dr. Daniel Wolf is a Grand Rapids neuropsychologist.
All of us have our addictive potentials.
But overstimulation can lead to things like anxiety, depression, insomnia, headaches, stress, and even heart disease, which is why there's a new trend that claims to reset your brain. It's called dopamine fasting.
Dopamine is always wanting to be in balance.
Here's a look at your brain on dopamine. When you're at normal levels, it resides here in the problem-solving and reasoning part. But when you're overstimulated, it resides here in the pleasure part, which can be a little hard to leave. And why the idea of dopamine fasting is that it balances out the brain.
I actually really love it. Your mind is very, very busy at the beginning, and then it just sort of calms down at the end. I like purple. It's my lucky color.
Carol Hendershot is a self-proclaimed dopamine junkie. She's been dopamine fasting for 15 years.
These practices have just changed my life entirely.
As co-founder for Grand Rapids Center for Mindfulness, she takes her dopamine fasts seriously with a yearly, week-long, silent retreat.
We don't make eye contact with other people in the retreat. We simply alternate sitting and walking meditation.
7 hours of meditation a day and a vegetarian diet. At the end of her first fast, she says she experienced something profound.
And I was just standing down at the bottom of the hill, and for the first time in my life, I actually felt like I was enough.
Her experience might seem extreme, but it doesn't have to be. You can get some benefits of dopamine fasting by simplifying it. Here's a guideline from the Improvement Pill, a dopamine fasting website. Spend 1 day a month with no food, no phone, no internet, no music, no substances, no conversations, no videos, and no reading. What will you do with all that time? Well, that's kind of the point. You'll be forced to spend it alone with yourself. You can walk in nature, exercise, journal, and drink lots of water.
Eventually, if you don't reinforce it, it calms down, and then you can start to make better choices.
If a whole day still seems too much, start with just 1 hour a day. Eventually, you should start to crave more meaningful experiences instead of instant gratification.
And you know, some think that dopamine fasting is really here to stay. I mean, after all, Apple and Instagram, they already have that software that makes you aware of how much time you're spending on social media, with all the reminders that they've built in, you know, kind of a way to help you control how much time you spend doing that. And so there are ways that people are trying to integrate this into our life already.
Yeah, and those reminders not helping me, by the way. But Carol's experience, I mean, it's extreme for sure, Val, but it also seems fascinating.
Yeah, it really is. You know, she had a lot to say about her experience, so much so that it really almost made me want to try it. I don't know if I could or not, but she talks about how when she gets a couple days into that silent meditation, where the voices in her head were just going so crazy, and she talked to one of her practitioners, and they said, you know what, that's completely normal. It's like the toxins are being released from your brain, and I feel like I can understand how that would happen. So I was fascinated by it. I wanted to make sure that, you know, other people could watch her entire interview on this silent retreat, the dopamine fasting on 13onyourside.com.
And it's on our YouTube page as well, correct?
X.
All right. Val, thank you so very much.